there's three nuclear, what we call dialectics. These are the three big opposite pairs that are ripping everybody apart. There's millions of people behind each one. First one is male, female, LGBTQ. The traditional, the conservative Christians, the evangelicals, the more traditional types are really starting to dig their heels in. And then we have the opposite side being like, no, we like women's rights, and we have like feminism, and then we have the sort of transcendental non-binary stuff. They can't even cooperate, and that's pretty foundational. Like birth rates are declining, all this weird reproductive stuff is happening that's also threatening our species. And then the next one is capitalism, socialism, communism. The political economic is also can't cooperate, which is why World War III is exacerbating the AI crisis, because like in the United Kingdom, they're putting out policies recommending not to regulate AI, not to overregulate, because if we overregulate our AI, then China and Russia aren't going to regulate theirs, and they're going to win the AI war. So we're sort of in this race to the bottom, and it's because this dialectic is also not sublated, it's not harmonized. And then the last one is where wisdom itself is confused. It's like art, religion, and philosophy or science, that those can't even exist, like can't even coexist. And philosophy, at least to Hegel, he says philosophy is not even in the right place conceptually. Like it's a particular domain amongst other particular knowledge domains. He says, no, it's the universal. It's like the highest level of knowledge that all the other domains are in. That's why, we're lacking wisdom, is because philosophy is technically in all of them. We've just separated it as its own little thing that goes in some kind of like dusty, hall, like an arts department, liberal arts department that nobody takes seriously. Right. So it's like, no, first of all, we need to take the wisdom seeking and put it back where it's supposed to be in the respected knowledge economy, like universities all around the world. This is what Hegel tried to do back in the 1800s when he was like the top professor of philosophy in Germany. He was like world spirit was coming through him. And he says, when you do this alignment with this eternal goodness, world spirit starts to come through you as agents of destiny. You start to have synchronicities. You start to align other people. When you speak your light, you liberate other people to speak theirs. And so like is what we need to do with presentations like this, is say, when we talk about it, we try and make it universal. We try and say, well, even though we're using this mode, you can use other modes to talk about this, because it's truly universal logic. It's truly everything. And even in religions of the past, it's not like we're going to go and have to rewrite the Bible or anything. We can do a kind of Bible study or a Quran study or even the Vedas, where the truth is already imminently in there. The divine masters were already doing it. They were just doing it in religious form. So all we're doing is saying, this is the scientific version of that. And it's a very respectful thing that colonialism couldn't do. I think if we keep going this way, it will have the diversity to go worldwide. And I think if we teach it in the right universal context, I think people even like Daniel Smachtenberger or these meta-modern guys or people who have studied Hegel. Like there's 25,000 Hegelians in one Facebook group, which is really bizarre, because the only reason why people are reading Hegel is because there's no other options, basically. Like, what are we going to? Nothing else seems to work. I think they have caught on to Hegel, but they're teaching it in the particular sense. That's why they blew past it. They're like, oh, we've done the Hegel thing. It's not the answer. It's because they haven't stayed there and had the ego death. Because there's a lot of she ideas, right? It's like very sexy. Go do this hot thing and then this hot thing, but this is really where we need to go. And I feel like they already know it, so it'll be like a very quick critical mass, because we're all looking. And I do think that we just have to translate it into the different modes and cultures and the different symbols. And we have something called the synchronicity document for that, to handle this sort of PR part of it. Even our media is like really toxic right now, with like the post-truth. Like we don't really know what's true in the media.
Right.
To the pandemic. But I think that this can really get through that with a lot of credibility. And something that resonated with me when you were talking just now is that intuitive people can recognize, in the way that I'm using the words, you can start to recognize if you're close to spirit already or close to genuine science. If you're secular, you can recognize I'm hedging, like I'm doing all this kind of fancy stuff that's very simple, but it has huge, like you're in different emotional landscapes or conceptual universes. Very simple things have huge movements in this essence way of thinking.